That's what they want. They want to treat children like adults in the worst possible way.
If I was a parent, well, first of all, there'd be unholy hell if I was a parent, because probably we're going to be on the same page on this shit. Some of the stuff that goes on in the schools is just so cray-cray, and I would not be able to keep my mouth shut about it.
Is he talking what I think he's talking?
So I'm sure a state like Tennessee does not have laws that some of the blue states do, where like the parents are not allowed to be notified by the school. They're actually prohibited if the kid changes their gender.
Oh, so you will remember when Dennis Prager went on Real Time and was talking to this stuff, talking about this stuff to Bill. And again, what did we? Come on, the same thing we just heard. The same thing we just heard about global warming. People still say global warming, and he was saying the same stuff about the trend. That's not happening. And now, maybe a year and a half later, he's the one bringing it up.
Like they say that would be outing the student to a parent.
Right.
Outing is a word we even use in connection with a parent. Shouldn't everything be out to the parent?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure I'm singing from your hymnal now.
Am I allowed to have an opinion on this, or
no?
I'm
just trying to make up for
sure.
my faux pas with the moon.
I just don't care. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I don't care about that at all. I literally nothing about it, and I wouldn't have ever picked a debate with somebody about something.
Oh, I thought she was talking about the trans stuff. I'm like, you don't care about the trans stuff? Like, what have you been doing? We've been talking about this stuff forever, and all of a sudden you don't care about it? That is wow. But no, she's saying she didn't care about the moon stuff. Shout out to Bobby Rizzo. Welcome to the party. So blue states are far more likely to have legal first cousin marriage. Yikes. Good to keep in mind if you are going to move. Welcome to the party, Bobby. Context, it's for their girlfriends about tampons and mail bags. It's for the girlfriends, okay?
That I just don't care about, but this I care deeply about.
Okay.
And this is what I do a lot of, work in the space of talking to parents and understanding how we've become so removed from our own children systematically. And you're right that places like LA and New York have become these major hubs where the state has gone too far. And I do a lot of work on other stuff too that you would think is weird, and vaccine stuff for parents and kind of giving them a guide.
Oh no.
Well, before they move on to that though, that's another thing that actually, did I hear it from this? Okay, I think I heard it from this actually. So
I'm with you there.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that. And I produce an entire separate series talking about vaccines and sort of the increase. And
well, I don't think
when I was a kid, I
don't think vaccines are a hoax or anything, right? I just
not a hoax.
Okay,
but how do your kids need from 1982?
Right. No, they don't.
6 to 75.
Right. I mean, my view, just to be clear, vaccines are a tool in the medical kit, just like antibiotics.
Right.
And just like antibiotics, I wouldn't want to be told everyone's taking them, so you have to
Right.
too.
Yeah,
like
one size fits all.
If I decide I need one for a certain pathogen and I'm at a place in my life where I think that playing the odds, which is what medicine always is, that would be the smart thing. Okay. But
was he singing this same tune with the vaccine mandates? I don't remember because I wasn't listening to him. But if anybody knows, was he singing the same tune that, nothing should be forced? Or did he take the cop out of, well, we're not forcing you to do anything. We're just saying there's consequences if you don't.
Forcing it and in children who never needed it for this, the least likely.
And they're so sick. The kids have never been sicker. And that's,
right, never
I start
been sicker.
my series by asking, these kids have never been more vaxxed. We're the most vaxxed country in the entire world. We have these high infant mortality rates when weighed against third world countries. And
Gontex, has anyone actually heard the argument on why he hates Trump so much, other than he's insane, crazy, and idiotic? There is no argument. There is no argument. That is the argument. He thinks he's crazy and insane and idiotic enough that it's enough to say I hate him and I don't need to go further with this. So the Soul said, my own anecdotal experience puts me in basically the same camp with Candace regarding jabs. And the latest one that needs no name just reinforced that for me. Yep. CT223 said he's slowly becoming more based. Well, that's what I'm not sure about, because he was always the based liberal. He was always a based liberal. And then he got TDS. So it's a matter of returning to the average. How close to who Bill was prior to 2015 is he now? And I think comparatively, he's less based than he was in 2014, but he's more based than he was in 2020.
And you're being told that this is because we're super healthy. You got kids 75 vaccines. When I was a kid, it was 12, and there's been an explosion. People don't even know anything about the diseases. It's just these constant fear campaigns. And then on top of that, in states like LA, you can't opt out. So these are things that parents have to think about now, where you're literally raising your kids. Could you go to prison for saying that I don't want my child referred to as a different gender behind my back? Yes. Depending on where you live, they're trying to criminalize you being a parent.
Mhm.
And then you add that to the, medical.
I criminalize you being a parent. I would like if I was Bill, I'd be like, what exactly do you mean by that? Criminalize you being a parent, and unless she means because the way that sounds to me is that becoming a parent. Thank you guys. Becoming a parent, but maybe she's just talking about the decisions you make as a parent is being criminalized. Okay, put it together. Took me a second.
Complex, and maybe you say, I'm not afraid if my kid gets chickenpox. I got chickenpox at chickenpox parties. You can't do that in LA. You can't do it in LA. And if you're a doctor and you say, oh, this.
Did any of you guys do that? Do the chickenpox party? I was lucky to have gotten it pretty young, and I think I got it from one of my siblings. So it was, it was just a natural thing. But and I don't think my parents would have done this anyway. But I remember like a bunch of my friends who didn't have chickenpox until like maybe a little bit later, like 8, 9, 10 years old, they would just have unwanted posts at chickenpox party, aka daycare. But yeah, they would just invite everybody over. And it's like, let's get this over with. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it anyway. So let's get it over with. Yeah. So the soul says my whole street did it when I was 5. Wow, that's early. That's early. But I guess yeah, get it out of the way, right? It's gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Once you get it, you're good. And get it out of the way. Oh man, chickenpox was hell.
Parent didn't want their child to get the chickenpox vaccine. You'll get your license taken away in a place like LA. I don't think parents realize why that's so scary. Not necessarily. We can argue all day. You can call me anti-vax. I can call you pro-vax. But as parents, we should be able to make decisions for our children. I don't fear the chickenpox.
That's all I would. I mean, yes, I would really not go over well in today's world if I was a parent. I would just be in fights, and it would just be ugly. And then my kids, my hat is off to anyone who is a parent today, because I honestly feel it has never been harder to be a parent, because you're not allowed to boss them around.
Yeah.
Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that it's never been harder to be a parent than it is right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Obviously, if you have kids.
The fucking point of having kids if you can't boss them around? And also, how could you possibly control a feral little monster like that if you couldn't boss them around?
I know.
Hey, shout out to I Am That I Am. Welcome to the party. So chickenpox parties were major events in the 1960s. Ah, really? Okay, so I guess it was something that kind of over time people just were like, all right, we'll get it eventually, but people were still doing it. Nick, you never got it? Oh, you were exposed to it, but you never got it. I wonder how common that is. That's interesting. And yeah, a lot of you guys saying parenting now harder than it's ever been. I obviously don't have kids, but I would have to agree just based on my own perception.
It's insane that they treat them like they're just short people.
Like, yeah.
Well, Guamtech disagrees. He said it's not hard being a parent. It's hard dealing with the idiotic parents of other couples. Fair enough.
Adults, and that's weird too. I was actually talking with somebody that was here before you came in here about sort of the LA spell, because there's something weird about parents in this particular bubble, this particular part of LA, where they think that the children are adults. I don't understand. We don't.
That's what they want. They want to treat children like adults in the worst possible way. Shout out to Indie Phil. Welcome to the party. Yeah, I guess so. So when did that come out? Because I definitely got chickenpox naturally. So I guess I wasn't. And then now that I think about it, my sister did have the chickenpox vaccine. Interesting. Shout out to Just a Man with Opinions over on Twitch. Welcome to the party. Said it's harder to be a parent now for sure. You have to deal with the brain worms kids develop at an early age now because of the internet. Not to mention, they're being taught that a guy can be a woman because feelings. Yep, that's the number one. I think, like number one, because it's so high stakes, and it's changing so rapidly that if nothing else, I think this alone would put being a parent today at the hardest point in history. Welcome to the party, just a man with opinions.
Want to tell our child no. I met a parent that said that. We don't believe in telling our child no. And I just said, okay, well, when he rapes someone when he's 13, and he says, my mom never taught me the word no, there were no boundaries.
Right.
Oops.
I mean, whose fault is that going to be? I mean, it's...
No, this country reminds me of...
I didn't have time for the whoopsie, but we'll have it by the next one.
Like a medieval European country where a 5-year-old ascends to the throne and inherits it. And so all the courtiers have to pretend that whatever brain fart comes out of the mouth of this 5-year-old toddler,
shout out to Joffrey,
something that we have to take seriously and treat as valid and debatable. That's what this country is.
Bro, that's what this country has been for a long, long time. Just because the people in office weren't literally 5 years old doesn't mean they weren't thinking like they're 5 years old.
That is very accurate. That was a very incredible analogy. Pockets of the country, though, I would say. Pockets, particularly here.
Right.
You don't see that stuff in Tennessee. Like,
that's the
yes, ma'am, no, sir. You know what I mean? And they don't play around with that stuff. And that's what I love about this.
And that's why I completely understand why people move to places like Austin.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.